Hello everyone, I'm Dion Schuddeboom, and for the past couple of months or so, I've been using both Apple's leather case as well as the silicone case for my iPhone 13. And both of these are good cases, each with their own unique strengths. But depending on your style and what you look for in a case, one may be better over the other. So in this video, I'm going to be covering everything you need to know. Alright, so to start, let's go ahead and compare the prices. Now, the silicone cases come in at $49, while the leather cases come in just a little bit more at $59 US. Now, this is a $10 difference, but in my opinion, both of these cases are still quite expensive. And then in terms of the color choices, the silicone cases come in 8 different colors, while the leather case comes in 5. When it came to choosing the color, I decided to get the midnight color for both cases, and that is to pair it with my midnight iPhone 13. And much like the midnight iPhone 13, you can see that both of these cases are not truly black, and both feature those dark blue undertones, which I think looks really nice. Comparing the two cases side by side, you can see the leather case is definitely a bit darker compared to the silicone. The silicone case showing more of those dark blue undertones. It's also worth noting how the two cases reflect light differently. As you can see, the leather case is a little bit more reflective and showing light more obviously, while the matte finish of the silicone case does not reflect light in the same way. Looking more closely at the back of the leather case, you can see that the Apple logo is actually embossed into the leather and actually pressed into the material. This means that when you rub your finger across it, you can actually feel the 3D texture of that logo. In my opinion, this is a very nice touch. On the other hand, the silicone case does not feature that same embossed logo. Instead, the logo is just made a little bit darker to set itself apart from the rest of the case. It absolutely goes without saying that both of these cases pair phenomenally well with the midnight iPhone 13. And I also think that because the cases are so dark, they actually pair well with the lighter colors of the iPhone 13 as well, creating that contrast between the dark case and then the lighter camera unit. Looking at the interior of the cases, you can see that both feature this nice microfiber finish. Now what this will do is this will protect your phone from scratches or lint when taking the case on and off. Now I really like this feature. It is also worth noting that on the silicone case, the microfiber goes all the way around, including the inner edges of the case, while on the leather case, the microfiber layer is only on the back. When applying the phone to the cases here, as you can see, both will feature this nice MagSafe animation once the case is attached. I always think this is a nice touch. It's also worth noting that with both cases, the fit around the phone is really tight. Now, this is useful because if ever you were to drop your phone, this means that the chance of the case falling off is very slim. Let's talk about the feel in the hand. Starting off with the silicone case, it has this nice soft finish. Compared to older silicone cases from Apple, I found these newer cases to be a little bit less sticky. And this is a good thing, as it makes it easier to take the case in and out of your pocket, especially if you wear slightly more slim-fitting pants. On the other hand, the leather case with its fine natural leather texture gives a premium feel in the hand that only a leather case can. The fine-grained texture on the supple leather provides a bit of grip while still feeling smooth to the touch. At the end of the day, both of these cases feel really good in the hand. I will say though that the leather case to me actually provides a little bit more grip, while at the same time the impact absorbent material on the silicone case feels just a little bit more durable in the event of a drop. Let's compare the buttons of the cases. Now starting off with the leather case here, you can see we have these nice color matched aluminum buttons, and I like this. This way the buttons maintain that clicky and tactile feel like the original buttons do on the iPhone. And then looking at the silicone case, you can see the buttons are colored a little bit darker, similarly to the color of the Apple logo as found on the back. Now the actual buttons themselves are covered in the same silicone material as the case itself. And what this means is that when you're pressing the buttons, they feel just a little bit more mushy and not as tactile as that on the leather case. At the same time though, when pressing the buttons, you do still get some click. Personally, between the two, I would say I prefer the aluminum switches found on the leather case. In my opinion, they are just nicer to press and maintain that nice and clicky feel. Taking a look at the cutouts of both cases here, you can see that the cutout for the mute switch as well as the lightning ports are identical. Where the cases do differ though is for the cutouts for the microphone and speaker ports. As you can see, the silicone case has very precise small cutouts for each hole to match the bottom of the iPhone. Whereas on the other hand, the leather case has two larger cutouts, both for the speaker port as well as the microphone. Now, I'm not sure why Apple decided to go a different way for each case, but in my testing, neither of these has any significant impact on the microphone or the speaker performance or clarity. So a feature that I always find important in any case is raised edges, and I'm glad to say that both of these cases deliver in this area. Looking more closely at the camera units, you can see that both have this plastic ring that goes around the entire unit. Now what this will mean is that the camera unit is protected from the surface when being placed, say for example, on a table. Now this way the camera lenses do not make contact with the surface, preventing scratches or damage to the lenses. One thing to bear in mind though is because of those raised edges, there will be a slight bump on the back. So much like if you're using your phone without a case, there will be a little bit of wobble if say you're typing on your phone and it is placed on a table. Now this is by no means a deal breaker, but is something worth mentioning. And then looking around these screens here, both cases also provide a slightly raised edge here, even if you're like me and you already have a screen protector on your phone. Again, what this means is that the screen will not make contact with the surface when being placed down. I really like to see these small durability enhancing features considered with each of these cases. One area that took me by surprise is the thickness. Going in, I thought the leather case would be quite a bit thicker than the silicone case. But in actuality, it is only thicker by just about a hair. Even putting the cases side by side, it is hard to discern the difference between them. Both are very similar in thickness, and again, once the case is on your phone, you really won't feel this difference. Of course, neither of these cases are ultra thin cases, but what I can say is that both cases will only add minimal bulk to your phone, especially if you think about the additional layers that each case has. For example, that microfibre layer seen on the inside. As you would expect, both cases are also fully compatible with MagSafe as well as wireless charging. In terms of fingerprints, the leather case actually holds up very well, practically not showing any during day-to-day use, while the silicone case does at times show fingerprints. Now it's also worth noting that unlike the leather case, the silicone case, especially the darker color, will attract and show pocket lint. Now this is something that can easily be wiped off, but is still something I'm not a very big fan of. But when it comes to cleaning, the silicone case is actually easier to clean. You can just clean it with a damp cloth. I do think that if you work out often, the silicone case is the better choice. Not only is the silicone texture nicer to feel in the hand, especially if you have sweaty hands, but it is also easier to clean. Not to mention, you can actually more safely use antibacterial wipes on the silicone case. Whereas on the leather case, while this is possible, this will damage the leather over time, so do this sparingly. And then speaking of the leather case, ever since I started using it around 2 months ago, I haven't really had to clean it. Now, one thing I do notice throughout using the case is that on the areas where my hand grips the phone, I can see that the texture of the shine of the leather is slightly changing. Now, this is the leather patinaing over time, and this is something that will occur with all leather cases over time, even the darker colors such as the midnight. For me, when it comes to these cases, the only downside really is just the price. These cases are quite expensive, and if you are looking for more affordable alternatives, I suggest going third party, where you can find cases for $10 to $15 with ease. In fact, I'll leave a couple of suggestions in the description, alongside the purchase links for both of these cases. But what is reassuring to know is that if you are in the Apple store and say you've just picked up your iPhone 13 and decide to pick up Apple's leather or silicone case alongside, as long as you're okay with the price, both of these are very good cases that I do think are worth the money if you think about the additional features and the quality that you get with these cases. Okay, so let's talk about who each of these cases are for, starting with the leather case. Now, first of all, the leather case is definitely the more classy option between the two, that is best suited in a more formal environment and that will pair seamlessly with your leather wallet or other leather accessories. On the other hand, the silicone case is better equipped for someone with a very active lifestyle, if say you do a lot of working out, as the case is easier to clean. Not to mention, the more impact-resistant silicone material will make it slightly more durable. And also, while still expensive, does come in at $10 cheaper compared to the leather counterpart. Having used both of these cases, at the end of the day, I can say that my favorite has to be the leather case. I just love that natural leather texture, and I feel it best pairs with my other daily carry. So, hopefully that can help you out with your buying decision when choosing between these two cases. Let me know if you have any questions. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.